We started our Coffee with Coaches podcast a couple of years ago to tell the stories of our Campbell coaches, their upbringing and background, their coaching journey, successes, and insight. Search Coffee with Coaches Campbell online or wherever you're getting this now and have a listen to great insight from all of our coaches. Coaches who are now dealing with unprecedented challenges and a unique sports landscape thanks to COVID 19. How are they coping? How are their student athletes doing? How is working from home? Our goal is to give you a look inside. I'm Chris Ameyer, and this is Coffee with Coaches. On the afternoon of March 12th, the Campbell softball team finished up their first and last Big South Conference game of the 2020 season. The 1-0 loss to Gardner Webb was a brilliantly pitched game by Campbell senior Megan Richards. Richards struck out a career-high 12 batters in the tough luck loss. The two teams were warming up for Game 2 of a scheduled 3-game Thursday night when word came down that the games that night were canceled and play was to immediately stop because of the virus. There were audible gasps and shouts and cries from both dugouts. It was the sounds of two teams knowing their seasons were over. It would be days before the entire season was officially canceled, but we all knew. Players, coaches, fans, we all knew that would be the last time softball would be played this spring at Amanda Littlejohn Stadium. It would, in fact, be the last home spring sporting event played at Campbell. Head softball coach Sharonda McDonald was on the softball field in the middle of it all, the first to get the message.
I went and told the other coach really quickly, and I came back over and just told them the news that we just got that, that would, at least because at that point it was through the weekend and the Big South was going to make another decision. But with some of the other conferences we're already doing, we kind of had a feeling that this was going to be it for our season. But it was, I broke the news to them and it wasn't just our seniors. It was the collective from all the players on our team were, noticeably upset. And physically upset. And it is definitely one of the hardest conversations I've ever had. We took a second to, have a few words for the seniors. But I think the rest of the team was really upset too, because at that point, I think they just have really grown so close, and over the year and a half that I've been here, you've really seen a shift in our culture a little bit. And that shift has included the care they have for each other and the relationships they've built with each other. And we've really worked hard on that. And so to see this season end for them, I think it was more than just, we don't get to practice or we don't get to, hit or we don't get to field. It was more so like, this is my time with this team is done. And every year that team will never repeat itself ever. Things happen, new players come, the day changes. So I think for them, it was definitely more so my time with this team won't happen anymore, which was hard for them. But to see their reactions was pretty heartbreaking. And having to break that news to them was tough. We knew it was coming and it was happening other places, but when it actually happens, it feels a lot different than even what you're anticipating. So it was tough for sure. It's a tough pill to swallow when it happens, but then you take a step back and just take a look at what's going on around us. It was definitely the right thing to do, just for the safety of our student athletes and the health of our student athletes and for everyone around us in our community and around the country. So as difficult as it is, and you kind of have to take some perspective and really, what we get to do is do our sport. But, we don't get to do it right now, but it's for a really good reason. So there's been a lot of time just to reflect and really have some perspective of some of the more important things, which is our health and our safety. It's like I said before, it was definitely a tough pill to swallow. But once you take a step back and get some perspective and really look around at the scope of things and how even now things are continuing to, progress in a negative way, it was definitely the right thing to do. With our seniors, especially, we at the end of the year, we like to celebrate them. We like to celebrate them because, playing softball for, some of them have been playing since they were 4, 5, 6 years old. For the majority of your life is a big sacrifice. Even growing up, there's a lot of things you choose not to do to play your sport. When you get to college, there's a lot of things you choose not to do that other people get to do, as a sacrifice to the sport that we all really love so much. So it was tough, not being able to, one, celebrate those guys, but two, just for them to know it's just over was was really hard. Um, but you know, I think what's been a tough is when you're with these kids and you try to help develop them and grow them up as young women, and all of a sudden we don't get to be with them anymore. I think it's strange, but we've been communicating with them as much as we can.
Coach, you played softball all of your life and then have been coaching it ever since. What has it been like this last month with no softball?
It was so strange. I know me and some of my former teammates, we still have a group chat going on. We talk to each other all the time, but all of us are like, "What's a spring break? What is that?" So it's just been so strange to have so much time. A lot of us are like, we've never had a March without softball ever. So definitely a new reality, something to get used to. I just still try to wake up at a normal time because it's really easy to stay up all night and watch Tiger King and things on Netflix and then wake up late. So for me, it's just trying to stay up, get up at a normal time, still, we still get with our emails and still go over some recruiting stuff. And, that part never stops anyway. Still trying to prepare for the next year, for the next opportunity we have. So I get up in the morning, get to work. It's a little bit different because now my husband's next to me too, getting to work. So different kind of coworker than I'm used to having, but it's been awesome. But yeah, it's just working from home and trying to stay home as much as we can, trying to do the right things with the social distancing. But yeah, just a lot different for sure. I've been building some things. I built a couple benches, painted inside my house, and did some renovation. Me and my husband we're going to sell our house because we're building it and buy a new one. So it's been fun just trying to get it ready to sell. So I've been getting some projects, finishing up some things, and I built a bench for our entryway and just trying to do whatever I can to stay busy. I'm a busybody, so it's definitely hard for me to just sit and relax. Like, that's not a thing. Get some at-home workouts done, and with Coach Danielle, who's on my staff, I challenge her with some stuff, and so we kind of go back and forth. What are you doing? What are you doing? And just to try to, because we're competitive too, we can't help it. So,
Coach, what do you miss the most without softball?
I mean, obviously it's being with people and, being with our team and, as much as they can drive us crazy, as soon as the opportunity for them to all kind of scatter and we weren't going to be with them like we normally are every day. It was really sad. Just having, we were right in the part of our season too, where we were starting conference, and last year around this time we got hot. So I was kind of expecting the same thing. You prepare all preseason, all non-conference for the opportunity to play your conference season. So we were right where we wanted to be. We were starting to, get some steam. So that part was really sad. But really just being around them, we have a ton of personality on our team. They keep you on your toes and they make life fun. So not being around the players is probably the toughest part for sure. You get so much time with them and you really come to really love them as people. And so those are my girls. So I'm sad I don't get to be around them.
Coach, I know too, even in good times, you have to play psychologist. You have to do a lot to keep the mental psyche of your team going. What are some of the messages you have given your student athletes, and what's some of the messages you would give, people in college just in general about this time and how to keep your head up?
Yeah, I just been, every once in a while, every time I get any updates, I send it out to our players, but just trying to stay positive, just positive words. And, just this whole thing has given us all so much perspective. So I just been trying to be really positive with them and just let them know all the time that I miss them, because I do every chance that I get. So I just will send them a message out every once in a while, just to stay in touch with them, but just mostly to stay positive. About any outcomes or about the future, really.
Coach, you talk about how it's changed your perspective, and I'm sure we'll have a little bit different answers when this is all over, let alone a month from now and 2 months from now. But right now, how has it changed your perspective? And that can go from coaching to real life as well. What has changed for you?
Yeah, I think, throughout a year, there's so many ups and downs throughout a season. And there's times as a coach where you are frustrated, very, very frustrated. And there's times where you have some highs because you're just so proud of what your team or individual players are accomplishing for themselves or for the team. And, then you go back to those moments where you're frustrated again and, things that you try to coach them on, maybe they're just not getting it or things like that. But when you have a moment like this and you have a chance to take a step back, it's like you wouldn't trade any of it, even the lows. You would take it. Like I would take the lows right now over not having the chance at all to be on the field, and so it makes you not want to take anything for granted. Because I tell our players all the time, like, this is an opportunity. This is such a cool thing that you get to do as a Division I athlete. So don't take it for granted. And it's hard to understand that when you're in it. But now this is a moment to where we unfortunately get to not be in it, that you can maybe really understand those words a little bit better. And I think that goes for me as a coach too. So there's moments I get so frustrated and I'm so competitive that I just want to, like, I don't know, change this, change that, do this, do that. And maybe, I just need to find a way to keep coaching them in a different way. It's just, so coaching wise, that definitely has given me some perspective. And then life wise too, I just got married. So, now is the opportunity for me to just hang out with my husband a little bit more than I ever thought I was going to be able to this time of the year. So yeah, the perspectives have definitely changed.